good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the den. And you know what? We're just going to cut this intro short tonight because I don't feel like dealing with the studio and an intro tonight. So, hello, Rascal, and hello, Argos. How are we tonight?
Here's a night. It was a hell of a day at work.
Oh, that's got.
We get through it.
Okay, so OBS says that YouTube is not responding. We're just going to ignore that and hope for the best.
Argos, you there?
I like how I can hear you through the stream, but not Discord.
I think that's right because I couldn't tell where I was hearing your voice from between the two.
That's really weird. Because my mic's not muted. Is this just not a good laptop for streaming? Hello?
Hi.
Okay, so
Yep.
got at least one person.
Yep.
I mean, I at least figured out what
Oh
happened
yes,
on
Nightkind will be here in a few minutes.
Awesome. I did figure out the problem with game night, which was apparently I had the settings for the audio and input and output fried. It defaulted back to hardware that wasn't there, so it wasn't picking up my headset.
Wow.
Which is weird because it picks you guys up just fine. But it just didn't pick up the microphone. So I don't know what that was about. Yeah, since you can see on the stream, we have our wonderful whiteboard of boredom that me and our guys were working on while we were talking before stream.
Now we'll go ahead and throw my camera on. Does my camera work?
I don't know.
Doesn't look like me. I unplugged my camera again.
Apparently.
I'm going to switch my damn camera.
Okay. So Argos, how are you today?
Yeah, I've been better.
Been a long week.
It happened.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's pretty much been my week. Things have happened. And I am still not getting any signal from your camera.
Neither am I. I swear I just plugged it in again. Hold on.
It likes to go to the cross to Twitch, which is like, you ain't streaming.
What do you mean you want us to see you?
It is a luxury.
Apparently.
Actually, I love the fact. Okay. So, Argos, if you'll understand the person at least. Rask has heard of him, but he's never heard his name mentioned. So I was hanging out with Haynes the other day.
Oh.
And I had to laugh because he was talking about his campaign again. and he's still at the same point he was at like 3 months ago, where his players are sailing across the ocean, and they're complaining about the fishing and everything, because apparently they think they know better than he does, and they want to correct him on everything. Which, to a point, I understand. You know, if you're a long-time player and the DM says something that's a little iffy, go ahead and ask and be like, hey, are you sure like that's what you want us to do? You showed us a proper rule or something. But like these guys ripped him a new one because they wanted the deep sea fish, so he let him, and then he had him catch a tuna, and he's like, well, I can't catch a tuna with this rod, that's too heavy. He's like, well, I told you you caught salmon earlier, and you told me salmon are only freshwater. And I was like, well, that's bullshit. Salmon are definitely seawater as well, but sounds like your players are a bunch of whiners. So,
I mean, you know, the fishing is what they wanted, but then they get it, and then the results are like, but why? Magical
right?
reason. Tuna just showed up, I guess.
Yeah. So, like, he's still in the middle of trying to get them to where they're going. I was like, oh my god. Which should have been, like, maybe a 2-session scene if you wanted to play it out, has actually stretched into the full 3-month journey that it would take to get between these two locations. He's like, well, I'm getting tired of
the fishing
them.
trip has become the campaign.
Yeah, he's like, I'm getting tired of them, so, you know, I've made it to where, apparently he gave them a cursed object or something, and it gave them a new spell, and he's gonna have them fight a ghost or something. I don't really. He likes to muffle when he gets into stories, but he's gonna have them fight a creature, and they're gonna use the spell, but the spell is AOE, and does, and I think he's got his math wrong, because he's like, it does 4 1d10 of damage necrotic per round. I was like, so it does 1d40 of necrotic per round is what you're telling me?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're either
We
like
have
multiplying the 4 and the 1, so it's like 40, but then it's like 41 d10. Oh, so everything's just died.
Yeah, and like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, 4 1d10. Like,
What?
hello, Nikon.
I'm trying to get you off of my phone and onto the computer.
And hello, Olive.
Good luck.
So I'm trying to close this.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so 1d40 seems like ridiculously high damage, especially since, like, you know,
Or ridiculously low if you roll low.
well, I mean, it's an AoE spell, so it's like, alright, I understand that it's going to do some, you know, weird
Somebody
damage.
shoot me.
Sorry, I don't have that good of aim. But then he's like, so what I wanted to do is, like, because the spell is AoE, and it doesn't have really good control, and they're kind of pissing me off, I want it to start destroying the ship, but I can't figure out how much damage the ship would take each round. And I was like, well, if it does 1d40 each round, the ship is taking 1d40 each round, unless you have, like, a resistance table for the ship. So he's like, well, how do I make a resistance to, like, a health and resistance table for the ship? And I was like, well, you pull it out of your ass, honestly. But if you're doing it the quote-unquote proper way, you need to know how old is the ship, what wood is it made out of, is it in good repair, was it sealed, is it enchanted, shit like that. And then you can push all that into a total. And as he's sitting here trying to do the math,
I mean, it's starting to sound like the old 2nd edition table of what armor is best against what weapon from Dragonlance Tales of the Lance box set, which made every combat a slog.
yeah. But like as I'm talking about it, suddenly from the dining room, I hear Naga on my sister's laptop. He's like, "Hey, are you guys doing D&D? You know, you could just say the wood has like 1d8 base damage resistance." And I was like, "Great, the Lala's coming in with fucking facts." He's like, "Well, I don't know anybody I can talk to about this." He's like, "I know several people you can talk to about this, but I'm not gonna bother Rascal with this because you can't even explain to me what the hell you're trying to do." In fact, I invited him on tonight, and just like every Friday, he's decided he doesn't want to talk to me. Okay, I see one frozen camera. Nightkinds is trying to get up there. Have we all frozen? Hello?
Right.
Yes.
So I had to mute my mic.
Holy crap. Okay, Discord decided to catch up all at once.
It's on
Okay.
that one.
What are we talking about tonight?
I'm gonna refresh the YouTube.
Our personalities like one in a line, actual.
Okay, is Discord actually playing nice now because it keeps like freezing everybody and then catching up all at once?
Mm-hmm.
We're off video and audio for a second.
Yeah. Okay, so give it a second to catch up and do its thing. So, yeah, tonight's topic, as I failed to describe in the description, is there's been a lot of horrible shit coming out about creators and actors and entertainers lately. All this shit that they hoped would stay buried on the internet or wherever it is that they threw it. And I figured the best way to get to know us is just get in front of it and talk about some of the cringe shit we've posted. Or the fact that, you know, yes, Rascal and I both have a fet life. You can find that's out there.
No prize for guessing what my name is.
I love cheese. Is that your name?
I should change it to that.
Okay. Or you can do it like, squirty cheese or something like that.
You know, the horrible part is on our website, somebody would actually take that seriously.
Probably. I mean, the names that I've seen in-game in WoW, absolutely. I would not be surprised if somebody used that name.
Best and worst name I've ever seen in Final Fantasy XIV. And remember, FF14 was course, you have a first and last name of your character, right?
Yes.
Someone came through my server, just with a very odd name, was just server hopping. Name was Readable Submissive.
No, I can top that.
Are you sure you want to try?
I found a
Because
duo.
you're already a submissive. If you top them,
I found a duo of names. I don't know if they know each other, but I found one in Ishgard and one in Ul'dah. And I swear they'd go perfectly together. I really hope they are friends.
oh dear.
So get yourself in Ishgard, you know. High Catholic, frozen as shit. You know, the imperial religious. And I'm sitting there just minding my own business when suddenly a knight in full plate mail runs up. His name is Asit for you to park on.
Okay.
And I had to read that slower. I was like, your name is Asit for, because they spelled it weird. And I was like, okay. And then I actually read the last one. I was like, you to fart on. Oh.
Jeez.
Great job. So, you know, I was like, fine, whatever, take screenshots, share it, like, haha, this is funny. Then I run to Ul'dah a couple hours later, and who should run across me but Sir Farts-a-Lot. I really wanted to just DM and be like, hey, do you know Ozzy? Because Asit Ford, like, and you need to get together.
World of Warcraft is pretty picky with their names, and you would have to hide them really well.
Well, that's the thing.
In order for
14
them, I mean, no, I'm listening.
Yeah, well, 14 is supposed to be really heavily moderated. And there's a lot of shit you can't get away with. Like, there's been instances people have gotten really heavy bans and permanent bans for just saying, like, damn in chat. And I was like, damn? You got permaban for something so light. But then, yeah, you've got players with the names like a seat for you to fart on. And I was like, and that guy's just running around. I know that's a mod. Like, that is a Squaresoft employee. You just ran, like, straight past him, and he's not doing anything about it. Okay. Great moderation, guys.
I mean, I
Wow.
don't give a damn. The NPCs in the game will say damn, shite, balls. It's a popular phrase in certain areas.
Yep. There's been a couple feckings. But if we say it, we get banned.
And that's all in chat, though, right? Is it all in chat?
No, that's what we're saying, is if you say any of that in chat, the mods will catch you
Yeah.
and punish you. But
Okay.
the actual game itself has cutscenes where people are throwing that around like crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I
Do
can.
as we say, not as we do.
Yeah, it's like we can say fuck, but only if our name is Sid Garland. Okay.
Oh, Sid.
Go lay down. Sorry, my dog is just like, what about me?
Let's see the other one getting attention.
Yeah.
Olive, you're probably a bigger celebrity than I will ever be.
She has an unfair advantage.
Yes, she is adorable.
So I'm gonna take a moment and
And she will.
And you should be adorable.
yeah, you should try
Sorry.
harder, be cuter. I'm gonna take a moment and point out our whiteboard here because we got bored while we were setting up. Yeah, I have all the pictures that I just got bored and made in AI. Our little caricatures.
I mean, it's
I
that
just
or
made an AI Blood Elf right before Rasklin had to remind me to. He's like, "Hey, are you going to join us?" What did you say?
I said,
Because I thought that you were.
get on in a few minutes, and
And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we just can't do any dungeons because I'm expecting DoorDash." And he's like, "No," because I was making some AI pictures.
yeah,
I just get all involved and I don't.
I said, I meant
What's
the
that?
podcast.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I was late. I had to touch up and not look like a troll when I came on camera. So now I know.
You should be appealing to that troll demographic.
I mean,
I'm a troll.
come
I
on,
said you should try.
look at me.
No.
Well, guys,
My TikTok today was troll enough, so
I'm here to appeal to the demographic that is exclusively made of Hugh Laurie and Weird Al getting it on. So
you did mention something like that. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's why I was laughing. Is I actually, when I was making these AI pictures, I made Rask first because, like, before I was doing these, I was doing horror and macabre furry pictures because, like, I run a fur group and they're like, hey, you know, you do some decent AI. I was like, yeah, but I'm in the mood for, like, blood and horror and insanity and eldritch abominations and, you know, all that shit. And they're like, well, go do it. You have our characters. Run. Be fruitful. And I was like, okay. And then the generator I was on, you can do all sorts of cool shit. You can do cinematics and everything. So it's like, hey, I wonder. And I was like, I could do like little, you know, AI avatars for us for thumbnails, or if we just don't feel like being on camera that night. And the first one I thought of was like, Rasklin's the easiest because all I gotta do is like tall, male, goth clothing, creepy, vampire, DJ, club background. And that's what came out.
and you didn't even need to have long hair.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what you made.
Oh, it's in the activity.
Yeah,
And it's on the stream. It should be.
Yeah. On the whiteboard, it'll be in one of the video feeds.
Yeah.
There we go.
So it's here. And I like how we all have our little symbols here. So we've got Rask on the right here. And then I did Nikon second because I was like, okay, we can do that one. So we went for witchy aesthetic. And then it took me forever to do these three because I did myself third. And I couldn't get one that looks sufficiently slavish and fat. Because no matter what I did, it always wants to give me muscles. I was like, I'm not that jacked. I wish, but I'm not. And then on either side of me are Argos, because why the fuck not?
They're cool.
Yeah. The problem is I made these
I like those.
after, and I'm not kidding, I made these after 8.5 hours of just creating the macabre and bloody and insanity. So like, it's 8.5 hours of me fucking around in AI programs. And then I made these, and I was like, I'm really tired, I don't feel like giving it my all. But also I think the, what's the effect they called this one? Oh, the 80s neon anime. I think that works well for both Nikon and
Yeah. It looks a little bit more Neotropolis, more cyberpunk.
yeah.
I think with that prompt. So cool. I didn't download what I was worth. Well, I had to because
I don't know.
shared it.
Yeah, so it's in our chat stream.
I don't know why we decided to give you stars
But
and
it's neat.
fishy sparkles, but we did. And then we just have all the arrows pointing at Nikon for some reason.
didn't. It's not here. Oh well, that's cool.
I can grab it. Where you shared it to.
Well, it's not even on topic with what Caden is talking about, so it's not a big deal.
When do we ever stay on topic?
True.
Let me see. Wasn't it like? No, we don't. We don't.
I don't know why this
Jared's going to be more awkward than me.
We're just gonna throw a Totodile down on these. That's not even a Totodile. Don't come for me, Pokemon fans. I'm too tired for it. Argos will correct me if I'm really wrong.
Also, yes, Olive will respond if you call her.
Yes, I'm gonna get in trouble.
There you go. See, it's a crocodile. Thank you, Argos. I figured also this just
Are
makes
you guys seeing my screen?
we see you.
Okay, so you're not seeing what I'm doing on my screen. I'm just pulling up this rather random. Ooh. Oh, that's you. Journey. Oh, I want my journey.
I downloaded it if you want me to send a copy.
Why don't you go ahead and send it? Because it's gonna take me like. Uh-oh.
Yep. Here we
Might
go.
lose my place. Okay, hang on.
Unless you want
I
me
might
to
lose you guys. Uh-oh. There you are. I thought I lost you.
Yep, we're here.
Okay.
Although I think we may have lost,
Nah, I'm just being quiet.
I see him.
no,
Okay.
your camera died for a second. Okay, it's not 9 minutes.
Back on. Can you see me?
Yep.
Hayden, how much AI do you create?
Depends on the day and how bored I am.
Okay.
I try not to do it a lot because, I have actual artist friends, but if I got inspired and I'm having a good day, I'll just run through until I'm out of ideas.
Yeah. I've done that with a mutual friend between Rascalyn and I, and I would come up with a thread of what I wanted, then I would send it to him, and then he would draw it up for me, and I'm like, okay, this part is cool, this part isn't cool, let's change it, and that's what I really like about working with a real artist, is, we can talk about what we want together, or he can work with me on what I want and make it specific for me.
I have an artist friend that I have a deal with, which the deal is if I give them honest to God, like brutal honesty critique of their work, like, hey, this is great, but what the fuck is this over here? Then they'll do free pieces for me. And it's worked out pretty well. The problem we have right now is, like, they started out as a furry artist, and then they started making their own world with their own species. And when they draw that world, they're amazing. They've got, like, this amazing details, intricacies, and, like, fabrics, and the little differences that separate species and things. But then when they go back to furs, anytime they draw a canine, if it's a fox, if it's a dog, if it's a wolf, anything, they all look exactly the same. So we had this time where
Just that.
yeah, me and Argos actually commissioned a picture, and it was supposed to be his character and mine. And Argos is like, all right, well, I haven't really settled on a character, so let's do this. Let's see how it comes out. And like, they drew the sketch and posted it for us. And I was like, did you just draw me twice? And they sent us a third sketch. They're like, well, this is one that I did for like a completely round guy. I'm like, but this is just me. Like, all of your characters are looking like mine right now. What's going on?
Asklin, can you put that picture that I sent you?
Yeah, I sent it to you a second ago. Let me put it in stream.
Oh, hey, you know what the really, really cool thing about this is? If it'll let me do it. Well, that's how I got the AI things up. Is that the whiteboard has to, you can just put an image directly on the whiteboard. Oh, that's pretty.
You know, how do I get that? Is that on the, okay, that is on the whiteboard. Okay. Or you guys can see it.
Yeah, they just popped up the whiteboard chat.
Okay. I'm just trying to like do something a little different, but you know, of course all my stuff is like all fantasy and blah blah blah. So
Nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna go get a refill drink.
Have fun. Don't get lost.
he needs to like rip string on his desk and take it with him so he can pull himself back and not get lost.
We just need to teach him mine.
Okay.
That's what we need to do.
I don't know how to go make that go down. Yeah, I should. Box, no. Can't see. I can't see what I'm doing.
Oh, look, a
There
bot.
it is.
A bot.
Okay, go.
There's a bot in stream?
There we go. There's a bot?
I don't think that's a bot.
It's not talking about... Okay, because I signed on to Midjourney bot.
Oh, no, we're talking in the
Could that be
YouTube
it?
chat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna cut my camera and cut my audio when DoorDash comes because the dogs are just gonna go bananas. So all 7 of them.
Hey, look, Rask. It's your chance to use your moderator power. Hey, it's not a bot.
My moderator.
It's not a bot. It's just a
Oh
really
crap!
weird
That's
picture.
right. I'm over on.
Ringo! Ringo!
That's right behind them.
Don't know if that's helping.
See, that's the strat. I call them a bot so that it prompts them to respond, because if they're a bot, they won't respond.
Sorry, you guys. It's
Why do I have so much music?
I have no idea.
Okay. I may have accidentally created some feedback there.
I didn't pick any up. So who
Okay.
are you, Mr. or Mrs. Murder with a hashtag? Be you friend or be
To be
you
fair, a
foe?
bot would have tried.
You know,
seeing
one
an
night
offer for Bitcoin.
we're gonna be on stream and Gamers is actually gonna join, and I think we're all gonna have a heart attack. Gamers, if you're listening, and I know you are eventually at some point in the future, we're not being mean. We love you. You need to join the stream and interact, please.
I'll second this.
We promise not to be as mean to the Canadian for the first few streams. Because let's face it, you, me, and Rascalin already
Oh, I sit
have.
here and trying.
We already have
Okay.
a pre-arranged relationship, so like we gotta keep up the status quo.
Can't let anybody down.
Well, no, because like if any Pirates fans comes over to this channel, like, hey, why are they acting different? I'm gonna be like, oh shit, we gotta make fun of gamers because like they come to expect us making fun of Canadians.
Funny thing, my entire raid group is, well, not the entire, but a good chunk of it's Canadian, including the raid leader.
Really hard to hear, Rasklin.
So a good chunk of my raid group is Canadian, including the raid leader. I really need to switch to like again,
Yes, you
XLR
do.
converter and everything.
I
You can
was
get one like mine off of Amazon.
I was thinking of using my good mic, but then I didn't know if it would work because in order to do that, I gotta run it through the computer speakers, which is gonna pick up, or I've got to use my USB extender, which you know I've used that on Pirates a few times. And it has a habit of picking off the mic at random, so I have this nice microphone on a boom stand or a shotgun stand rather, just sitting here, and I can't do anything with it. Cost me $97.
Yeah, that's what this one is a... Holy moly. Okay. Yeah, this one is plugged into the USB and looks all professional and shit. And I would like to think it sounds better.
See, I would lift my
It's better than
laptop and show
Rasslin, that's
you,
for sure.
but I'm not going to show you the rest of my room. I'm currently in the middle of cleaning, so it's one of those situations where like the couch and everything near it is clean, but everything that is outside of the camera is just a mess.
This is my mic. You can see the port here is XLR. So
Yeah. I mean, what I can.
Yeah, that's the... Okay.
I need
Nope,
to actually
that's
put
really
the
crappy.
proper wire. So now
You
you're
don't
all
have the-
hearing me.
Cord for it?
Not yet. You're all hearing me right now in the headset as you're resting on my desk.
Okay, that's why we can't hear
Turn
you.
it like the S5 controller. Or my
Didn't that roll up with the submarine?
Damn near. It keeps having a problem connecting to the computer whenever I turn the computer on.
We need to get this man.
Which is
a
funny
phone
because it
mic.
works fine when I use it to game.
Yeah, we do.
Next best thing.
Here we go.
Ah, now we can hear you, and you
Okay.
look fashionable. Okay, so
See-
what?
Yes.
Circling back to the FetLife conversation, I'm collared.
By yourself.
Now you need to put that on FetLife.
So are we still saying cringeworthy things we've done?
Oh yes. I was gonna point out if the fact that I'm talking about leading a furry chat and doing furry AI and writing furry porn isn't cringe enough, I'm sure we'll find something.
Okay, most cringy thing I think I've done. Yes, my profile pic on FetLife was my cock for a little while.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I've never
Why is that
shared
cringe?
anything
Doesn't
like
everybody
that.
do that on FetLife?
You would think. but
Okay,
no.
I'll admit, on FetLife that is fairly normal.
Yeah.
So we could say I'm blending.
I think one of the most awkward moments I've had on FedLife is I was going through the Kingsters in my area and found my English teacher. And then I had class the next day and I was like, this is going to be fun.
Well, mine was pretty much, my cringe is pretty much the same because my younger litter mate evidently was on FetLife too, and he found my profile. Proceeded to run to my dad saying, do you know that your daughter is this, this, and this? And so my dad comes up to me and he's like, you gay? Where did you... well, like, well, not exactly died.
Yeah, we.
So,
So
having that conversation with your father is awkward.
Yeah, we had a,
Explaining what
FetLife is and what you're doing.
ever since that, I got rid of my FetLife, but it was too late. Horse is out of the barn.
No, we had an awkward conversation like that with my entire family. That was the kicker. It wasn't just like one or two. It was me, my brother, my sister, my mother, and my father. Oh shit, did we drop everyone again? I really love how it's just dropping everyone but me.
It's like you're pissed. You're like, what?
Something.
Okay, did we all just catch up again? Nope, it was a burp.
On the street, given some of what's there. Stops being quite evangelical, and she is a member of a goth band. But she's forgotten that incident. So, in the middle of an interview I do on my radio show, I remind her, hey, I was the guy with his ass hanging out in New Orleans, and she bursts out laughing, going, that was you? And that may be the cringe thing I've ever done that did not involve it. Except that interview did get streamed online after the fact.
If she recognized you, recognized the area, that should be a good thing, right?
She did laugh, it was great, it was hilarious, but my listeners still had to deal with it.
So I'm just gonna point out that I love that we didn't catch any of that story on stream.
You mean
Stream's not working?
nothing just made it on,
Literally nothing.
or we're offline?
So it's been dropping, and we've been getting like little burps, and so like it just caught up with you, and we caught up with, hey, I was the person in New Orleans with their ass hanging out. Complete nonsense.
That's a great way
Okay,
to start a
who's your-
podcast.
Who's your ISP again?
We have Verizon. I think it's the laptop itself.
Oh, wow. What?
I keep saying,
Okay.
this laptop has 4 gigs of RAM, okay? It's not meant for heavy loads. But it is...
Point, and I don't have OBS installed on this thing.
Yeah, it's the only laptop I have with a webcam installed. If I could figure out how to do OBS on my iPhone, I would do that. But That is a pain in my ass. But hey, at least your embarrassing story stays a secret between two other people.
Tell it again. Tell it again. Tell it again.
I think at this point I'm obligated to make up a story that's far, far worse.
No.
Who's gonna know?
Okay, so the
You just
place,
said liar.
the place that we dropped
Women-
out.
Sorry.
The place we dropped out was actually when Nykind was talking about the awkward conversation with her parents. Yeah, we've been trying to catch up for that one.
Right, Caden, we either lose your voice or your feed freezes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does that with
Your
you
video.
guys too. I'm thinking of switching to the other laptop and
Okay.
just staying off of camera, but that would require shutting down the stream and restarting all over again. Or I'm just gonna turn off camera and see what that happens then. Ah,
Turn that off.
there we go. I left the activity and that helps.
Yes.
There. Get rid of the
Should be a
whiteboard.
little thing above the video connected port of Discord that just says leave activity next to whiteboard.
Yeah.
Argost and you are currently logged in. Argost, can you hear us? I don't believe Argost exists.
Damn.
You can almost hear him. It's like he's real.
He's a fickle.
Okay, well,
fickle
I'm not
spirit.
getting that little icon, so
Nope.
let's say leave whiteboard.
I can't boot you guys from the activity mode, so otherwise I would. Yeah, like I said, the stream started dropping when Nykind was talking about the awkward conversation with her father. Yeah, so we are.
It's not like anybody knows me, so that's okay.
Yeah, it's all the way back there.
Smile. We're on candid camera.
But I was gonna say, you know, that we had to have one of those conversations about FetLife in my family, but it was the entire family because.
You know,
Huh?
you kind of understand, you know.
Oh yeah, well no,
I
it
had to
was
talk to the whole family. I had to talk to my dad. so-
yeah, well it was really awkward for the whole family to do it because what it was is I think I've talked before. No, I haven't on the stream, but so my mom's father used to live up in Arlington with his second wife. And anytime I talk about him, you're going to notice that I call her his second wife. There's a reason for that. So they were in an extreme hoarder situation. And we're not exaggerating. When she passed, this woman was 4'3" and weighed over 600 pounds when she passed.
Oh my gosh.
To get through the house, they had a 1 foot wide path from the door to her recliner, to their bedroom, to the bathroom, to her office. That was it. Everything else was just a mountain of shit. So when she passed, we decided we were going to move my grandfather out, and we're going to clean out his house, get rid of anything that he doesn't need. We found that they were in the habit of if they lost something, instead of actually cleaning and trying to find it, they would just go out and buy a new one. So they'd end up with like 3 or 4 of the same damn thing just because they lost it and went and bought a new one.
That was my dad. Oh, I can't find it. I can't figure it out. Yep,
Yeah.
I understand. Go out and buy another one.
So, and these two stories lead into each other, so I'm not just going off on a tangent here. I came in to be the horrible, I might have told this one. I came in to be the horrible one that, like, every time I opened a box or something, I would just find the porn and the sex toys and shit. I have gone into this one. It was like 2 weeks ago when I told this story. What I didn't realize was about a week and a half before we finally moved them out, we had my brother stay with him so that, you know, we could make sure that he got his medications and everything because he was having trouble driving. And then I went on to FetLife one day and I was going through Kingsters and I find my brother's profile. That's humiliating enough already. But then as I'm going through his profile, I look through his pictures, and I see one where it is a full-body nude, full frontal. And through the disgust, I realize, wait a second, I know that bedroom. That's not his bedroom. So I pop the picture. He's in my grandfather's bedroom, taking full nudes of himself in the mirror with my grandfather in the other room. So I had to be the one.
Oh my gosh.
I had to save a screenshot of this, walk out to the living room, and be like, hey mom, I have something to tell you. And she's like, what? So I showed her the picture. She shows my dad. My sister's like, what are you guys talking about? I show her. She screams and runs to throw up. So we end up at this big family meeting in the living room, and she's like, okay, I want to know 2 things. 1, why are you both on a fetish website? 2, why are you dumb enough to take nudes in your grandfather's bedroom and post them online?
The door even lock, or was he concerned about
Wide
anybody walking in, or?
Nope, he had
Oh
no
my
concern that anybody would walk in. Door was wide open. In fact, I don't think that bedroom had a door. But it was very distinct because that bedroom, it was a bungalow house. The bedroom was very dim, like porno set lighting. It has a very distinct bed because it was his second wife's parents' house, and they carved the bed into the wall. And then it has like this burgundy carpet and wood paneling walls. Because there's no way you mistake this room for anyone else's.
Wood paneling, my favorite.
And then my brother has this great habit. Whenever you catch him red-handed, he likes to try and get out of it by saying, it wasn't me. Even if you have evidence.
Isn't that what, like, 9-year-olds say?
No, because a 9-year-old...
I mean, I
This is even better. A 9-year-old will take responsibility if you watch them do the act. Because they know, well, they saw me do it. There's no way I can lie and be like, no, someone else did that. It wasn't me, I swear. When he was going to college up north, we went up there one day because he needed to grab something. And we're in the parking garage. And he's driving my dad's truck. My dad is one of those guys. This is his truck. This is his baby. He is allowing you to drive this. Do not put a scratch on the truck. So we're watching him, and he's like, oh, hey, I need to grab something out of the truck, and let me take it out of the handicap spot because I don't have plates, I don't have a placard. So we watch him get in the truck. He starts it up, starts to go back up, pops the clutch first off so hard that the truck visibly lifts 1.5 inches off the ground with the jump. And then as he backs up, He slams into a pillar right next to the parking space, drags it a few inches, pulls back in, kills the engine, gets out, looks us dead in the eye and goes, "I didn't do it."
And not in a sarcastic
No,
Bart
no,
Simpson, I didn't do it.
a completely earnest, "It wasn't me, I swear I didn't do it." And like, in unison, my dad, my mom, and me were like, "We just fucking watched." Like, how do you
Well,
think
what
you're
was
gonna
he
get
trying
out
to
of
blame it on?
this? We
Right.
don't know. Okay, this is the same guy, same parking garage. Our parents had bought a 1997 Cavalier for all of us to share, because I was just learning how to drive. I was like 18, so I had just gotten my full drivers, and they needed a car to go back and forth up to the Art Institute, and they had just given my mom's old car to my sister. So the Cavalier was for me and my brother to share. I come home from school one day, park it in the driveway. He goes, takes it out to school. I go to take it out to school the next day, and I notice that the driver's side mirror is busted, like hanging off of the door. And the weird part is, it looks like it has been run into by another vehicle or something. But like, very obviously the car was going forward and it was smashed towards the door. So we're like, okay, what happened? He's like, oh, well, the gate in the parking garage closed on it.
That would cause a
Okay.
lot more than the mirror.
Well, it's like, if the gate in the parking garage closed on it, why wouldn't there be anything on the door or anything? Well, then we went to that parking garage. This is the same day that he pulls this shit with the truck. There is indeed a security gate on the parking garage. However, there are two flaws to the story. One, the security gate has a motion sensor. If you are parked in the security gate, it will not close. Two, it's a vertical security gate. So if that security gate had closed, he would have had to have been wedged vertically into it for it to hit that mirror. So then, as we're going around the parking garage, genius that he is, points to a post and goes, "That's the post that I hit the cab." I mean, I was like, you just can't fucking help yourself.
Oopsie.
can you? It's like, there are times you need to learn to just stop talking. This be one of them.
Yep, STFU, right?
All right. What is that? It's that phrase from a movie. I refuse to elaborate on the grounds that I may incriminate myself.
I've met grown-ass adults who do try that, but usually I'm able to drop them out of any act of my life. And you do not have that luxury, Caden. I understand this.
Nah. It's okay. I just laugh whenever they get caught in lies like this, because it's like, how did you think this wasn't going to come back and bite you in the ass? Just walk me through the amazing wonderland that is your mind right now.
I'm going to unfortunately have to quote George Carlin. He said, "Think of how stupid the average person is, and remember half of all people are dumber than that."
Yep.
Now you change the average to the median, and I don't know whether we're better or worse all of a sudden.
I think my favorite George Carlin quote will forever be, "Fuck the children. And remember, I'm Mr. Conductor. I know what I'm talking about."
Now, if you want to piss off a bunch of people who absolutely worship Carlin, here's what you post. Okay.
Yay! Here's what we post.
There's an old clip of him on Larry King Live, and he's being asked about Andrew Dice Clay. So Carlin basically says, look, I love Andrew, really, but he just keeps laying into women and minorities, and I don't believe in punching down. And if you want to piss off a bunch of edgelord, everyone else is a snowflake who's too sensitive, basically people trying to find an excuse for a racist joke, nothing makes them block you faster than linking that Carlin clip.
Yeah.
And isn't that the real victory, getting them to block you first?
I still love the people who are like, oh my god, people predicted this. They knew what the future would be like. I was like, no. It's the same thing. Same thing we always say. This is not them predicting the future. This is them looking around and going, holy shit, the world's bad. And then it never got better.
We hope for the alien invasion every day, don't we?
I think we wish for half the apocalypses 80s action movies promised us. Maybe not Hell Comes to Frogtown. We can do without that one.
Come on. With the same action star that gave us They Live.
Yeah, but I mean, nowadays it wouldn't work because Roddy is indisposed, but if there's one guy on the entire planet that we're all dependent on to reproduce, we're fucked.
Just end the human race right there. Bye. Which you know someone won't. You'll get this severely inbred colony.
Yeah, either that or with our luck, the way things are going, it's gonna go to that one repulsive ass neckbeard who still acts the same way and then wonders why no woman wants to get with him, even though he is literally the last man on earth who can bear children.
I just want to know why Ivanka isn't pregnant with Donald's baby.
You know what? We're just not gonna.
I don't really hide my beliefs, do I?
Have we ever tried?
Briefly.
Like that's the thing with this channel. Like we said when we first started out, when we're over on Olaf's channel, you and I play nice. We're very restrained. We express our opinions, but we curb them. We know when to cut it off. When we're over here, there are no holds barred anymore. Which is kind of how I like it. I've always believed that if you want to have an honest opinion, honest conversation with someone, don't censor them. Even if they say something that completely pisses you off, let them ramble just to get through the points and see where they're going with things. Judge them on what they say if you never give them a limit.
So we're good for hot takes right now?
I mean, go right for it.
Only integrate the Olympics and make it weight-based for separation class.
Yeah. Look, I'm still...
Like, I'm sorry, but given the recent kerfluffle, if you got a woman who is muscular enough, regardless of what someone's doing for a chromosome test, that she can nail and lay out a guy with one punch, she should be in that weight class fighting.
Exactly.
Assuming she's got the other qualifications. Like, I'm sorry, but do we all remember Joni Lauder, i.e. China?
Yeah.
Watching her pile drive a man?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Look, every time we talked about that with the Olympics, when my parents were like, oh my god, we're doing the trans athletes again. It's like, look, I'm going to point you back to the case in Texas, where there was a trans male who wanted to wrestle on the boys' team in high school, and they refused, saying, you are biologically female. You have to wrestle in the girls' league. So they did.
That sounds insane.
He wrestled in the girls' league, and of course, he's on testosterone. He now has a weight advantage. He is on a fucking performance-enhancing drug. He beats every opponent he was put against because he is a trans man, they are women, there is a disadvantage. Then they told him, well, we're not going to give you the medal or any of the titles that you earned because you were cheating with performance-enhancing drugs.
If he was cheating, why let him in? Would be the obvious question.
Exactly. It's well, all right. Well, you told me I couldn't wrestle with the men, but then you put me with the girls, and obviously I just crushed them. But now you're saying that I can't medal because I'm not a girl. But you told me that I can't wrestle with the men because I am a girl.
I'm suddenly reminded of the fact that Konami disqualified all American contestants for DDR tournaments recently.
I had not heard about that.
I think someone at their headquarters is still sore that an American won a tournament one year.
I was about to say, are they trying the we're too fat, or is it just that we are so
No, it's
obsessed
just
with
that
DDR?
you must have a Japanese account.
Okay.
You must have a Japanese account. If you have an American account, that can't work. If you try and get a Japanese account to make up for your American account, you break the rule of having two accounts. Also, your screen's frozen. Camera's not on yet, but I can hear you.
Yeah,
I turned it on.
Yeah, it's still
Your
loading.
boxes are dancing. And now wrestling's boxes are dancing. Oh, we've frozen again.
Although the woman I was talking about who did pile drive a man did eventually start
That
doing
makes
porn. Where
Ah, yes, the infamous thing.
No, apparently-
Shut up.
apparently she did more than that, so but that's a conversation for another day. Well,
Yes,
for
yes,
it's a funny thing. If you we've joked sometimes about people starting their film careers in porn and then hitting mainstream. Apparently the opposite has also happened, so
Well, yeah, I mean, Paris Hilton has a porn tape, but did she start out? No.
well, no, not one porn tape, like seriously went into a full-on career.
Oh, yeah, I know, I'm just saying. She definitely did not get a start, she did not get exposure from it. In fact, I think we tried to bury that shit as soon as anybody leaked it.
I have not seen this thing, so
I really don't want to. Although I will admit, sometimes I get curious. I did search out Sylvester Stallone's first movie. Was not impressed.
oh dear.
Because everyone's like, this is where he got the nickname, the
I don't
Italian
think I would
Stallion.
be.
And I was like, alright, well, now I have to see this. And then I, like, scrubbed ahead because the entire movie was so boring. Finally got to the full frontal, and I was like, that's it? Okay.
I don't think I would have any desire to see any celebrities porn. Like, I'm trying to think of like my favoriteest of all actor, and I don't think that I would want to see that.
It kind of takes away some of the mystique, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to
Absolutely.
think of who my favorite actor would be or actress and whether that should be a thing for them just to say they did it. I'm tempted to say Patrick Stewart should release his porn tape now because Christopher Lee missed his opportunity.
Would it
And you
be
can keep that one.
crass of me to say that no matter if it's Patrick that releases his or Ian that releases his, you just know they are somehow in each other's porn tapes?
Yes.
You just got that scene. There's a full raunchy action going on in the foreground, and in the background, the other one's just like, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And we have lost you again. The good news is we're still streaming. At least we didn't cut off at 45 minutes this time.
Weird. It took me a few tries to get mine to go.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'll stop with it.
John Barrowman would be a Padawan too, but he probably already has something.
So here's a question. If any actor who has played the Doctor makes a sex tape, does it count as all of their sex tapes?
Yes. They're going to be the Doctor. They have to do Doctor things. So if there's going to be so many actors playing the Doctor, then they have to fall into that role.
I mean, like, so this means if
I would say just get one actor to play every.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like if we get uncover a David Tennant or Matt Smith or Christopher Eccleston sex tape, does that retroactively mean that it's also, John Pertwee's sex tape?
Okay, first of all, let's face it. Of the first three you mentioned, it would be Eccleston between them.
Probably, yeah. And it wasn't leaked. He just left it out for someone to find.
I'm doing air quotes right now. Leaked.
We all know it's
Wait, set
Dalek
it
born.
on the camera.
The problem is
Set.
there are actual Doctor Who porn parodies, and the Daleks are usually the ones that end up with it. And it's not their fault. They didn't ask to be made with such easily portable.
I think your camera's activating now, and I'd say.
Turned it off.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just not loading.
And we
Also,
lost
Argos apparently timed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Daleks are tentacle monsters once you get inside the shell. So
Well, yeah, but even with the armor, like the attachments are just so easy to pornify. You know what would be a horrible Doctor Who monster to include in a porn tape? The Silence.
Ice Warrior.
Nah, it's the Silence. I keep dropping.
I'm gonna quit trying.
It's the Silence aren't the worst ones I can think of.
Well,
Unfortunately.
I say the Silence because the Silence is like the ultimate dub con. Because even if you do consent, you don't remember consenting.
Oh gods. I was just going off their appearance.
Yeah, no. I'm going off like the actual racial ability. Cause see, like even
Yeah,
weeping,
you weren't-
even Weeping Angels, like you can consent, and you know that you consented. It has to be from behind, or you have to be blindfolded. But wait, oh well, you can't do Weeping Angels because the moment you try to record them.
Okay, on the same time as the Silence, you know those people who are actually piloted by a bunch of micronized people?
Vaguely, yes.
Technically, you were consenting to have sex with a robot. What you did not know is that you are now having sex with technically a whole bunch of people, so it is now a gangbang.
Indeed. Well, technically, it's past a gangbang. It's a full-blown orgy.
Well, no, if they're all only on you, that's a gangbang.
Well, how do we know they're all only on you? There could be
We don't-
some doing their own thing in there.
I mean, okay, granted, but You, and specifically, you
This is
are
true.
getting gangbanged.
Yes.
Because there is someone operating every servo.
What were those ones from the library?
Shadows, the Vashta Narada.
Yeah, those. Those would suck.
Literally.
Uh-huh. It's like, yeah, you can do it once.
What else? What would be the worst idea?
The absolute worst idea is Cassandra.
I'll see you, Cassandra, and I'll give you Missy. Because
Well,
if,
I mean, okay, hold on. We're going to put a boundary. There is an absolute worst idea, but we're not going there.
Well, now you have to tell us.
yeah,
you
I'm
have to.
curious too.
I'm only going to say 3 words. Well, 4 words. Are you my
Okay.
mummy? Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
See? There's a limit.
Okay,
We're not going
okay.
there.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, fuck.
I'm so glad my camera's turned off right now.
I kind of wish it was on. I just want to see the expression on your face. Side note, please send me the expression on your face.
Oh, camera's turned off.
Okay.
Side note, that is the video that I've been trying to work on. Is the what we will not be doing on this channel. Because although we say there are no holds barred and we are much more free on this channel, there are topics I would rather avoid at least going in depth about, just because they're either oversaturated or there's just no point in it. And like, you know, I do
Well,
follow
I'm
the
sure
big
you had to
three.
click all the little boxes.
Well, no,
Did
like,
you have to click all the little boxes that said 18 and older?
no. It's like, I don't want to be a commentary channel, because commentary channels are just, everyone is a commentary channel now. I don't want to be a drama channel, because, you know, that just
No, we're here.
Did I just lose everybody?
It-
Okay.
promotes a toxic
My computer's
toxic
being a poopy
environment,
head.
and I don't want a negative environment around here, so we're not going to be a drama channel. And then we're going to follow the big 3. We're not going to talk in depth. We're not going to talk about politics, religion, or lifestyles. We're just not going to do it.
Fair.
Well, cool. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, like I have 6 major ones, but those are the ones that those are the big pillars. It just basically comes down to like, I want to have fun, and yeah, we're gonna get wild, we're gonna curse, we're gonna, you know, be ourselves. But you know, there's gonna be some things we avoid just so that we don't bring everybody down. We have black humor, we have gallows humor. We do not have poking a baby with a stick.
What about poking a baby with a wrench? I'm sorry.
Poking a baby with a squirrel on a stick, that's an entirely different thing.
Okay.
We're not poking babies with hot dogs.
You better consent from the squirrel.
Squirrels consent to anything.
Nuts and seeds, nuts and seeds. And they just want to climb the
They
Hole to the
wanna
bird
climb
feeder.
poles, they want to put those nuts in their mouth, they want to get down.
They hide nuts in the ground. They dig holes, and they'll put the nuts in there so they can come back later for nuts.
Is this about the time where we point out that not only does Rascal have the pet life, he also has an OnlyFans?
True, I do. And what's really funky is, so I went in there thinking, you know what, you can network. There's all sorts of stuff on OnlyFans. So there's a couple of pages I followed because they said music, and half of them turn out to be, yes, I have music, but mostly porn that I make. And it's like, okay, fine, let's see what happens. One of them finally started posting, you know, that she is doing music. It is behind a massive paywall, so I sent a message saying, hi, remember me? I have a radio show. You are doing goth music. I would like goth music to put on the radio. Doesn't respond.
Oh, what a time for it to freeze.
Yeah, but did
Although,
you get a lot of
Well,
porn
to a
spam
point,
after
like,
that?
there was a point where she was actually writing me directly saying, why are you not subscribing to my things? It's like, because I'm here to network, because I'm a radio DJ. I'm not here as a customer.
Now, if you wanted to
And,
produce
like-
some music while you're doing the porn, go ahead. In fact, I think I would pay extra to see that.
And it's like,
Porn sounds in the background.
I would like to give you a platform to get your music out. Then we would have a nice little link to where people could buy your CD. And where's this person previously write me before? It's like, nope, dead silence now.
How dare you want to offer me something legitimate?
Right? OnlyFans is kind of a quagmire because people, you know, half of the things I get are automated things, trying to disguise as legitimate messages occasionally. It gets kind of stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, the site is good for more than that, or at least it's supposed to be, so...
I mean, it did start out as a porn site. It's just, you know, that's what we do. Path of least resistance.
It's true.
So here's a question.
Yeah,
like
when
that,
did it
but-
start turning into a networking site?
Here's a question for you. If we could get anybody on the channel
People
to
are
collaborate
showing their
with or
foot
stream,
fetish
who would
and
we
people
want?
are buying that, and next thing you know, it's like, hey. No, I've never been on it. I had a friend that was on it, and he actually had his, am I saying that right? His people, his fans, sending him lingerie. And he turned out to be pretty popular on that site. And constantly getting shoes, like heels, like really nice stilettos, and really nice lingerie. And he just would dress up in the things that people sent him, and they went apeshit. And then they wanted to, just went apeshit. I'm not going to go any deeper into that.
Also, you know
The
what?
stories I can tell, and again, I just, is that really acceptable here?
That would even to a point be radio acceptable, actually,
Yeah.
because we haven't gone into explicit sexual detail.
Well, I can go into explicit sexual detail.
And that's why we are not showing reruns of this during my time slot on WEFT.
This is also eventually when we build up, we're gonna have to stop that because if we ever do manage to get monetized, then we're gonna have to play by the rules. I'm actually surprised we haven't had stream pulled yet. They do all get modded, but then again, with all the issues we've been having, they just can't find it.
I actually got a warning on my TikTok. I tried to post. That's when I sent this to you, and yeah, you didn't get it because they pulled it. So this TikTok that I made, I pulled up Renaissance pictures of Adam and Eve. They're covered with fig leaves, these
But
pictures.
It's still technically new.
And I think that there's one picture. that, you know, she shows her boobs, and they warned me, we're going to close down your account if you continue to show sexually suggestive pictures. They're fucking Renaissance paintings of Adam and Eve. What the fuck? So at what point do you cross that line of sexually explicit, or what's above that? What's not so sexually or sexually suggestive?
The moment that it can't
So,
make
you know,
money.
what can we talk about on YouTube before it becomes red line?
Oh, YouTube has very strict guidelines. So because we're not monetized, it's not that they don't moderate things. There's always an auto moderation. There's an auto moderation bot, and there are people who review the videos to make sure there isn't anything too horrible. But it's a well-known fact that more or less, until you get monetized and become a bigger part of the YouTube partnership program, your videos are more or less overlooked. But then once you become monetized, you can't curse in the first 30 seconds of the video. You can't overly curse, even if it is adult, like age restricted. If it's age restricted, you have to deal with lesser monetization and more moderation. There are certain phrases you can't say. They have an upper limit to the curses you can say. You can't show gore. You can't show sexually explicit images.
So you may want to turn, not in the Discord channel, but over in OBS, you are coming in a little faint on the stream.
How am I coming in?
It's the music, I think, that you got going in the background. It's a little louder than you.
I think we're gonna turn that down. It might also be
Yeah,
that,
your video feed froze for me. But I can't come up on video at all, so who am I to talk?
I would unplug and replug the camera if that's possible, because that's the only thing that worked for me.
Caden?
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Glenn, were you talking about Caden unplugging his camera?
No, my camera's in the
like I was
laptop.
talking, you should do your camera, unplug and replug.
No, I'm using my camera on my computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just a hardware issue. And then we lost Rascalin. And he's back.
I don't care. And then I gotta put it back on. So, anyway.
Yeah, so like I said, there are stricter guidelines once we get monetized, but for right now we're more or less under the radar.
Oh, so I can drop F-bombs all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. So like I said, here's the question that I had was, if we could get somebody to collab on the stream or like come on and, you know, do videos with, who would we want to get? Do we have a certain celebrity or YouTuber that we want to attract?
Trying to think of celebrities I know.
I don't know anybody.
Surely everybody
Authors,
knows Linnea Quigley.
celebrities I've met on accident.
Ron Perlman is not going to come on here. He didn't even want to be noticed, so scratch that.
He's not who I was thinking of.
We could get Ron Perlman on here. We'll just have him in the background, not interacting with anybody. He'll just be like eating a sandwich or something.
He'll be sitting and
He can
watching.
come to my house and eat a sandwich. I will make him sandwiches.
It's like we'll even
And
give
soup.
you a mask
You
so
can have
that,
soup
you know.
and
No, we have to put doll him up in the Beauty and the Beast full makeup treatment.
Vincent,
Oh my god.
he is so tired of that shit.
I know. Although a lot of kids today will not even know what it was.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't. I made oh, I did a meme about that, and I had a picture of Vincent, and I put a picture of Lion-O right next to that, and I'm like, this is what I'm going to tell my kids. This is who I'm going to tell my kids Lion-O was.
The one I was okay. So celebrities I've met on accident in hilarious situations include Anthony Daniels, Lou Ferrigno, a couple of U.S. senators. No airports involved, I swear.
I went to church with Al Gore.
Roger Ebert. Obviously, Roger Ebert can't appear.
I think we would have more to talk about if he could.
He undoubtedly would. I would even if he was freshly risen from his grave, I would immediately lay in with one topic. What do you mean video games can't be art?
No, I think the first topic would have to be, which one of us did this and how?
Shit. I keep trying, guys, so
I know.
I mean, you don't have to be on
I
cam.
don't know what happened.
We're just kind of on cam because, like, we've spent so many weekends that was like, oh man, what have we been doing Pirates for? 4 years now?
I was looking at the timestamps. It's been more like 2.5.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been like 3. So we've been going for
Since I joined.
yeah we've been doing a long haul where me and Rask just don't appear on camera. So we're just kind of doing it so there's more interaction rather than just a static background.
I was like December 2021.
I didn't put on this awesome top hat for nothing.
You know what? I should go get
Okay.
my top hat.
Okay.
Or maybe my flat cap. Or my jester's
Then we'll
cap.
be twinsies.
Or my bowler. Or my cowboy hats. I have a lot of hats, okay?
Last week I wore my, I love that hat. Absolutely love it. And I bought it because one of my favorite new artists that goes by the name Witches just loved that aesthetic so much that I'm like, I'm going to copy you and I'm going to do it. And I did. In fact, the video is on Insta. I absolutely love it. So I might recycle that hat a few times, get my $50 worth.
You know what? I'm actually really, really sad that both Olav and Gamers aren't here right now. Because I had a great conversation last night. And during the entire conversation, all I could think was like, this is definitely something I should talk about on stream just to, you know, see what the reactions of everybody on Pirates was. Because I could hear Olav arguing with me in my head. Somebody in the group chat asked, alright, they're like, I have to ask. They're like, I want to start shit. So if you had to choose, would you rather live in Gotham or in New York? Like Marvel's New York.
I was going to say, aren't they the same thing? They're both kind of New York-ish.
I always got the
Coming from
impression that.
somebody.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I always got the impression that Gotham is Chicago and like old, really Chicago at its worst, like Capone's in control and all that. And Metropolis is New York City at its absolute best.
The way they're claiming it now is that Gotham is supposed to be Jersey.
Really? Where's Bloodhaven then?
Well, see, that's the weird part. They're like, okay, I thought it was New York was Gotham, and then Metropolis was Jersey, because they're always like, it's across the harbor, and you have to go north to get to Metropolis. And they're like, no. Gotham is New Jersey, and, you know, Metropolis is across the harbor. It's like, but they're going north, so there's not a harbor that direction.
I mean, even saying that, New Jersey is a full-blown state with portions of it. Like,
Yeah.
I've been through New Jersey. Like, is Gotham Atlantic City?
Maybe Bloodhaven is in Atlantic City. Well, let's see. It's on.
The most recent.
Oh no, because Gotham's in a harbor. So that means it's either
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
it's not landlocked.
It's either Elizabeth or it's the Jersey Shore.
Even Chicago has a harbor.
Yeah.
But the big thing is, the most recent DC Marvel crossover, they actually reviewed this. It's like, why does the DC world have all these extra cities? Superman actually answered this after being in the Marvel universe for a few minutes. Soared up, did a couple laps around the Earth, came back down, said, their world is smaller than ours. What? Yeah, we literally have a bigger world, so we have extra cities. I'm simplifying it, but yeah, that was their literal explanation.
So I took screenshots of the conversation. I'm just gonna read it out because I want your reaction, but I want to see like how far can you handle before you have to disagree with me.
Okay.
So they said, someone asked me this, and I'm asking all of you: would you rather live in New York in the Marvel universe or Gotham? And somebody asked, well, am I in any way wealthy in the DC universe? And I was like, I like that that's your qualifier right there. It's like, am I rich in DC? Because if not, no. And like that was the thing.
That's not a reason to be. Rich means you're going to get targeted. Like, yeah, if you're on the ground as your standard civilian, you're likely to get,
Yeah.
killed randomly. But if you're a billionaire, well, one, that didn't save Thomas and Martha Wayne. Two,
Yeah, they said if
how many
I'm
times has a millionaire or billionaire been kidnapped?
yeah, they said if I'm not wealthy, then Gotham. Otherwise, I'd rather live in New York. And I was like, that makes sense because in Marvel, every billionaire lives in New York. But I was like, nah.
I mean, yeah.
I said my honest answer is Central City, because Flash does his goddamn job. And I was like, look,
It's a funny thing because the Marvel comics have actually made fun of the fact that they can't get any superheroes to relocate to Chicago.
Yeah. I was like, look.
The MCU hasn't, but the comics certainly have.
It was like, look, the correct answer is neither. And everyone's like, well, that's not an answer. Don't be lame. I was like, no, hear me out. And this is where I'm going to read it out and see how long it takes you to scream. I said, sure, if you live in Gotham, you have a non-zero chance of being taken hostage, beaten, murdered, used as bait, mutilated, or otherwise harassed by the criminal of the week. But if you live in New York, you have a non-zero chance of aliens, Punisher, Spidey going fucking nuts, Daredevil, Fantastic Four fucking your shit, Doom, Apocalypse, a boom tube spontaneously forming in your ass, Venom, Carnage, Ghost Rider. The question is basically, how do you want to suffer? And my answer is, fuck that, I'm going to Wakanda. And I was like, what's the
My answer would be New York.
Well, let me finish.
I have a justification.
Yeah. I was like, what's the least traumatic thing that could happen in Marvel New York on any given day? I was like, maybe
Excuse me,
Captain
sorry.
America shows up. No problem. I was like, maybe Cap shows up, tells you to punch a Nazi. Mysterio makes Spider-Man thinks he's naked. Kingpin pays your rent in exchange for you covering up the fact that he just shot your roommate in the face. I was like, but also, which which version of Gotham are we talking? Are we talking standard New Jersey XP Gotham, or the version of Gotham where it's literally cursed because Arkham used necromancy to feed off its suffering and keep himself alive, just because he's a dick? And everyone's like, we're not nerd enough to answer these questions. I was like, nah, see, I'm a pirate of the Geek Vortex. This is what we fucking do. I was like, even in standard Jersey but not Gotham, look at what you got running around. You have an immortal homicidal clown who no one will kill because morality. A literal plant woman who uses sex and seduction to poison your dumb horny ass. Clown 2.0 who is actually funny and has a PhD in psychiatry. The motherfucking Court of Owls. Immortal assassins who just, happen to show up whenever they feel like it's a boring Tuesday. Mimics, clones, time travelers, a guy who regularly doses the city with a potent psychoactive nerve agent, living fossils, a half crocodile cannibal, assassin who cannot miss his target even if you cut off his head, gangs with themes so dedicated to them they would die if they ever wore the wrong shoes, calendar-based serial killers, fucking Zaz, and Riddle Boy. The guy's like, well, counterpoint, I'm literally Batman. I was like, alright, well, are you Bruce Wayne Batman, Thomas Wayne Batman, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Damian Wayne, Azrael, the Batman of Zur-En-Arr, Failsafe, Terry McGinnis, Joker, Clayface? So the answer is, if you can be Batman, never be Batman. Be Red Hood, at least he only dies once. Alright, I'm done.
Okay, my answer is New York for several different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One, because it's based on a real life city, horrible deaths in mass especially will get retconned at kind of like an unsnap in a way. This is frequent. Doctor Strange turns all the zombies human again. Dracula is forced to relinquish his hold over all the vampires he just created, and they turn human again. The symbiotes get driven off because someone wound up playing their stereo too loud, and you're human again. Stuff like that. Also, New York City, still a blue state in the Marvel Universe.
This is important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if Gotham is New Jersey, that means I'm dealing with Chris Christie. No, thank you.
No politics.
I mean, to be fair,
No politics.
if we're in Gotham, our choices for mayor are literally, hey, I'm the guy that's the son of 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 the grandfather of the founder of Arkham. So it's like,
Yeah.
family business. Or, hey, I'm the only honest guy in the city, and oh, nope, I'm dead because, yeah. Those are your voting choices.
Whereas in
Son of a son of a son of a son ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Whereas in New York, Luke Cage became mayor for a while.
In New York, they wanted Spider-Man. There's several different versions of Spider-Man to be mayor.
Including the one where he's possessed, effectively, I'm simplifying it, by Doc Ock.
Yes. I am
That
so
one
mad.
was frightfully good.
Yeah, I was looking at the Venom Wars because I didn't know if I wanted to pick up that arc. But I am so mad that they gave Venom back to Peter and like they reconciled and were like, hey, let's just be friends for a bit. And I'm like, yeah, it lasted like an issue. I was like, that's such shit. If you're gonna give us a happy Peter Parker Venom team up, let us see what they can actually do together.
Yeah, I mean, I think that should be the status quo. I mean, the days of Peter and Eddie fighting are kind of just passé. Like disagreements, fine. The best one I think was Text from Superheroes did one. Spidey's messaging all the different Spider people, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Woman, etc. He's asking, hey, what food works well when you're swinging around New York that won't get too messed up? And Venom suddenly chimes in, because he's on the group text for whatever reason, with, oh, I prefer the brains of criminals I find on rooftops. Spider-Man just answers back, what is it with you and devouring brains? And then Venom answers back, but sometimes I'll go with a burrito. Spider-Man just looks at his phone calmly and says, okay, so that's 2 votes for burrito.
Yeah. You get Miles over there like, I eat before I go on patrol.
That sounds like something Miles would say.
Like the one time I didn't eat before I went on patrol, I ended up eating a burger with Peter Parker, so. And that Peter was like, it was a burrito, thank you, bitch. And then, yeah, I agreed, like, because I was reading the other reviews of the arc, and everyone's like, nah, MJ's just a bitch. What the hell are they doing with this new MJ romance? They need to write Paul out. And I was like, Paul? Who the fuck is Paul?
Honestly, they should have just retired Peter Parker years ago. You have Miles. Just use him. Done.
I mean, like, even if you're going to keep Peter because of this whole, like, he's the most important in the web of life, which he's now not because that went to fucking Kane. But, like, even if you're going to keep Peter for that, can we just let Peter be happy for a minute?
No.
And, like, I agree. If you're not going to put him with MJ, just write MJ the fuck out. Don't put her in the stories.
Right, Bo? Peter's story is long since they've done everything they can with Peter, to be honest. I mean, he should have just retired to being a professor of journalism.
Yeah.
You know, retired from superheroing.
I mean, like...
You know, just have him do that, have him teach photography.
Yeah. I'll give... We're going to the MCU, but I'll give No Way Home the credit. Where, like, we saw everything we wanted to see from Tobey's Peter. But then we saw him in No Way Home, and we're like, oh, wait, yeah, that's right. He can be an effective mentor, because, like, he is the original Spider-Man. He's the oldest. He knows all the tricks. He knows what's going to happen. He knows that you're going to suffer because you're Peter Parker, and that's what the universe does. So, like, he can pass on knowledge. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they did that in the comics. Like, they did Spider-World. They have the Spider Cores and all that.
Honestly, we're going to see Uncle Ben come back from the dead before we see a happy Peter Parker in the comics.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you already established the Spider-Verse and all that. Let him teach. Let him go into the Spider-Verse and, like, just teach all the Spider-Men. Because you know there's new ones popping up every day. And if we follow... I don't know how well the comics follows... or the movies follow the comic continuity. But yeah, like, if your main teacher for Spider-Man is Miguel, your Spider-Men are gonna be fucked.
Miguel O'Hara?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Where'd you learn how to Spider-Man? Miguel? Okay, you're gonna have to forget everything Miguel taught you.
This brings up a point I want to just bring up real quick. Who here has seen the new Deadpool film?
I wish.
Loved it.
Right. So, for Night Kind, we're not going to go into spoilers then.
You know, it is what it is. I won't be able to see it until it comes out on Walmart DVD.
Or until I Chromecast it over, you know, because I have a Disney Plus. Which will mean it just has to hit the Disney Plus.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm out on this one. Again. Or more.
There's so many I need to see. I haven't seen any of the Spider-Man MCU films. I have not seen No Way Home. I've not seen Homecoming.
I have not seen anything past Spider-Man 3. I just look up clips.
I've only seen, if going that far, I've seen the first Into the Spider-Verse, and I've seen the first Tobey Maguire.
Okay, I have seen Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. I'm talking like live action. I haven't seen anything since Spider-Man 3. Mostly because...
I also have not seen Venom.
When Andrew Garfield showed up, I didn't vibe with him as Peter. So I didn't watch any of the Amazing Spider-Man films. And then when Tom took over, I was like, okay, but I'm broke. I don't have money to go see these movies. I have seen Venom and I have seen Let There Be Carnage.
There's a place 3 days ago I went to go see Deadpool because it was $5.
Yeah. And well worth it.
I normally don't go see movies. That was the first movie I've seen in a theater in 5 years.
Yeah. I think we talked about it last week, I think. Because I was like trying to talk around the spoilers.
Yep.
Are we
And now
following
in my
our
office, they're all
same...
saying.
Hmm?
At my office, everyone's seen it. Or nearly everyone. So.
Yeah. I was about to say, are we following our
So-
standard timeline that we do over on Pirates?
How much time do we give on Pirates?
Depending on the movie and the hype, anywhere from like 3 weeks to a month. It's been about 2 weeks, hasn't it?
About 2 weeks, yeah, since
Yeah.
release.
Every cameo was perfect and every joke landed. That was great.
It did. And it's a funny thing. Okay, over in my FF Guild, we have a spoiler warning for the expansion, whichever the current one is.
Yeah.
So it's generally considered when the expansion drops, congratulations, you can now finally talk about the last expansion in FC chat.
I can't do that because, you know, my sister's always... She grinds through the expansion, so, like, by the time the new one drops, she's been done with the last one for about 3 months to whenever the hell it drops. So I always know at least vagaries about the expansion by the time I get to it. So there was really nothing surprising all the way up through Stormblood, because like I had watched her play it, and she's like, "Oh, you're gonna get to that scene. I'm not gonna tell you what happens." It's like he dies, he dies, he dies. She jumps off a cliff. She loses her voice. He loses an arm. She's like, "How'd you know all that?" I was like, "I watched you play. I already know it happens to these people."
And it's been raining here.
Yeah.
It's been raining pretty brutally here.
But yeah, like, if we want to do the standard 3 weeks to a month spoiler, I don't mind that. But, you know, if Night kind of doesn't mind us talking about it, I doubt our audience is going to mind, because we don't have an audience.
If you guys want me to keep up about anything, I can't even talk about World of Warcraft. I don't know shite on that. But if you guys want to talk about something that I know about,
Okay. I don't know, you know plenty about WoW.
dude, I hated flying for like 6 weeks because I couldn't do it.
Do you know what I know
And now
about
you're...
WoW?
Fly through trees and shit.
You know what I know about WoW?
Let me.
It
What?
exists.
So,
He says it exists.
That is the extent of my knowledge.
but if you guys wanted me to keep up with movies and shit, the Mad Max series.
Don't
Which
get us.
I-
Don't get us started on Mad Max.
I have the problem. I have the slight problem of I've only ever seen the very first Mad Max.
And then it's a regular.
Well, if you
argument.
want to talk about Mad Max, then we're going to be on for another 3 hours.
Well, no, like we've done that a few times over on the other channel. And like the few times Gamer
Well,
shows
then-
up, he'll bring up Mad Max, but he prefers to focus on the game. But then me and Olav always end up going head to head and like going over every piece of lore and like why doesn't this make sense? And I'm of the opinion like if this is supposed to be a linear story, you fucked up. And he's like, no, it's supposed to be, you know, handed down. It's supposed to be societal and tribal stories. Max isn't supposed to be the same guy. He doesn't really have the V8 in every chapter. And I was like, all right, we're not getting into this. We're gonna be here forever.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we can talk about this forever. At least from my point of view, so.
Well, it's like it doesn't make sense because they're like, all right, chronologically, when it first came out, they're like, chronologically, Fury Road is supposed to be the latest Mad Max adventure. It's like, then why is Max 30 years younger than when we last saw him? What the fuck? He's like, well, it's not Max, it's just someone else, and like, or even if it was Max, like, they're gonna say that he's younger because they gotta keep the legend up. And I was like, Bullshit. This is Australia. If that man was 60 years old beating people with a lizard, they'd tell you he was 60 years old beating people with a lizard.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah, there's a lot of question about that timeline.
Yeah, well, and then there's the fact that in almost every movie the V8 gets destroyed, and he's like, well, it's not the same car. It's just, he was iconic with the V8 Interceptor. It's like, see, you can't pull that shit either because he doesn't get the V8 until the very end of Mad Max, and by then it's not iconic. It's just the only V8 Interceptor, and no one knows it exists until Max pulls that shit out of the garage. It's not a legend.
I think it's only well, no, because it did crash a lot. It got, quote unquote, well, it did get stolen in Beyond Thunderdome. And then it was destroyed in Furiosa. So you're right. How many times can this iconic car, be destroyed? And if they think that us fans are not going to notice that, then they're high as balls.
Well, I mean,
Why? Why are you doing this? So
he didn't wreck it, but it got pretty torn to shit in Mad Max. In Road Warrior,
it got
totaled.
torn to shit in not Furiosa, but Fury Road.
Yeah, I was like, then you get to Road Warrior where it gets hit by a fucking semi and tumbles down the road for a good couple miles. So that's pretty much totaled. I was like, then you get Beyond Thunderdome where it gets stolen, and I'm pretty sure he blows it the fuck up. So tell me how that works. I was like, and then Fury Road, it most definitely blows the fuck up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's like, so, if they pull another one, they're like, haha, this is the latest chapter, and the V8's here. I'm going to be like, how?
Definitely not indestructible, but it's indestructible. How that makes sense, where George went with that.
Yeah, he's doing the whole, it's word of mouth, and because, Max is so heavily associated with the V8 Interceptor, any car he steps into is the V8 Interceptor, and I was like, well, if that was true, the moment he stepped onto the War Rig, it would turn into the V8 Interceptor.
What are you saying about the War Rig and Max stepping onto that? Are you saying that turns into what the Interceptor should be, or it's the new generation of the Interceptor?
No, I'm saying, if the way he's saying is, any vehicle Max drives immediately becomes the V8 Interceptor in the story. It's like, if that was true, we wouldn't have the War Rig the entire movie. It would have immediately been Max driving a V8 Interceptor with all these people on it for some reason. It's like, how'd it turn into a V8? Well, Max is driving.
Because they're... But, okay, that's a good analogy. And with all these people on it all of a sudden, but they need see, I don't even know anymore. But they need the War Boys on there to fight off all of the motorcyclists and all that stuff like that. They need that on there. And then, of course, they need people to defend the wives. And then the wives have to be on there to help fight off, all of Immortan Joe's people. So, everything has to be incorporated to continue telling the story. But Furiosa is backtracking, and then that way they get to tell a little bit more of the story, which is a prequel, and I hate when they do that. But on my point of view, at least they get to tell the story of where the Crowfishers came on. The Crowfishers in Fury Road, that few seconds that they are on that screen is incredibly iconic. And if you know the story of the Crowfishers, then the only thing I can say is that they are incredibly iconic, and I'm glad that they continue that story in Furiosa, or tell the story. Yeah, I'm thrilled.
I'm
See,
just
I
glad
told
they
you
didn't.
you shouldn't be talking about this.
I'm just glad they didn't pull that shit. We're like, it's a Mad Max movie, so Max has to appear. I'm like, except it's Furiosa, and she didn't meet him until Fury Road. So if Max appears, I'm calling bullshit and murdering you.
Right, right.
Because otherwise, when
So,
she met Max in
yes.
Fury Road, she should have immediately been like, "Oh, hey, it's you. What's up?"
Yeah, let's go out for a beer. Come on. Yeah, it's the post-apocalyptic theme, the post-apocalyptic world in movies. That's my kink, and it's been my kink for years and years.
I don't mind it when it's done correctly, but it has to feel like it's actually post-apocalyptic.
And there's a few movies out that do that.
Yeah, well, like I appreciated the Mad Max series because it does feel post-apocalyptic. Like with each movie, as it gets further and further into apocalypse and the world gets more and more dead, I was like, yeah, I kind of fuck with this. It works. But then you get Resident Evil, where it's a literal apocalypse that has murdered all life on the planet, and it feels so artificial. It doesn't feel like an apocalypse, it feels like a sandbox.
I feel that as much as I love the Mad Max franchise, I feel that that is glamorizing apocalypse. No matter how gritty, how many cars they wreck, etc., I still feel that it is glamorizing it. Hence the beautiful wives, and these wives, and they're absolutely stunning. So if we go on to post-apocalyptic movies such as The Road with Viggo Mortensen, that gives a rather dark, gritty, this is what can absolutely happen during the apocalypse. Okay, Book of Eli, that I feel that could also happen during a very populated apocalypse.
I hated the twist.
Because everybody's fighting for... It was a lot. It was a lot. And that debate of whether or not he was blind to this day is still a very heated debate.
I know. And that's what I hate about it.
Yeah.
There are two post-apocalyptic worlds I like that don't get a whole lot of viewing. Okay, one is Dark Sun. It was the post-apocalyptic D&D world. The hobbits are all cannibals. Sorry, the halflings are all cannibals.
Fucking
Magic
hobbits.
is now an environmental hazard. Insect people are a regular race now, as are half giants. All the dwarves are now hairless, and they frequently breed with humans to create a race I'm not going to say on the air here that is also hairless but infinitely taller than a human.
A potato?
Sounds like all the characters from Fatal.
Close.
I like Dark Sun because it also gives us psychic powers and says, hey, they're sometimes more useful than magic. And because of Shattered
did?
Land.
You did send me the scenario from Dark Sun, and can anybody have thighs like that? Anybody have thighs like that? Holy crap. I could work out the rest of what little life I have just doing hamstrings and, all the thigh work. No.
To be fair, the people they've got doing the artwork for Dark Sun, it gets kind of nuts, but
Would they get Liefeld?
the other post-apocalyptic setting...
What's
So
that,
would they
Caden?
get Liefeld?
Imagine if Liefeld had a thing for legs.
He does have a thing for legs. Have you seen the thighs he gives to his men?
I'm just going to make one Deadpool aside. The shop.
Yeah. Anyways, second
You saw
world
it.
you like.
Okay. Vampire Hunter D is set in a post-apocalyptic world thousands of years in the future, where it's like, okay, yeah, vampires and humans have gone at it a few times, but then, you find out, and then the vampires and humans united against the aliens, and you're like, what?
The fucking what now?
And you go
Mhm.
further and further, and it's like humans looked at vampires and said, "You're not so bad. Keep helping us fight the aliens."
You want post-apocalyptic to be more on the fantasy side or more on the gritty side? Honest question.
Well, that was my question: is what's your favorite flavor of post-apocalypse?
My personal is the reality, the grittiness, the sorrow, the fighting to stay alive.
So-
That's my personal opinion.
You like hard apocalypse, basically.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Bad Batch, where people are cutting off, they capture you and they're going to cut off your limbs to eat
One
you.
of Jim Carrey's
love
best
that movie.
movies. Not just one of Jim Carrey's best movies, one of Keanu Reeves' best movies.
And I love them both.
And
You know-
while I'm tempted, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you can't even see that it's Jim Carrey. It takes a lot to look that it's Jim Carrey. In my eyes, that is the epitome of a great actor to fall into this role.
Well, also,
Physically, mentally, and
he chose to do, they asked him if he wanted dialogue, and he said, "No, I don't want to say a goddamn word."
brilliant. That's brilliant. Let's be a character actor. Let's let all of this come through without any lines, and he does that, and I love that. Oh, again, that's just my personal opinion.
What were you saying, Rask?
I think I'm a fan of apocalypse as catalyst. More happens, the world changes. Some bits better, some bits worse.
Yeah, that works. I don't know if I'm a fan of soft apocalypse because there are times it's done right, but most of the time they go stupid with it. I feel like soft apocalypse.
They can,
They use it too much to establish the last people on Earth romance, and it's just so overdone.
Especially the cyberpunk. I feel that the cyberpunk is so glamorized, and it's just the beautiful people. Then there's the low underground people. So all they really want to show is just like the beautiful people. So I still like the cyberpunk because of Neotropolis. I went to Neotropolis once, but that's just a personal thing. But yeah, the gritty side and then the cyberpunk side.
I think the best version of soft apocalypse I've seen, honestly, hands down, is Demolition Man. It's not because
Okay.
it was soft the way the world ended. The world ended in the most brutal fucking ways possible, but we don't see that. We see what happened after the apocalypse. The rebuilding and everything seems to be fine. And then you look closer and you're like, things are not fine. This is not rebuilt yet. We have just swapped one form of struggle for another. And then you meet like you said, the underground, and you see how gritty and how hard they fight to survive and all that, and you're like, okay, here's where the cracks really start to show. And that's what I like about it. Like, they don't just play out he's reborn into this amazing society, and because he's from the past, he has trouble adapting, but people will fall in love with him because he's a rogue. I'm like, no. He doesn't win any friends because he can't fit in. But then he finds the rogues, and the rogues are like, fuck, we've been doing that forever. We never changed. You're one of us.
So how many times has post-apocalyptic theme been done by anime?
I mean,
Name an anime.
how many times has it been done well? There's
Okay,
doing
there's
it
that
well.
one.
There's
Yeah,
doing
let's
it
go with doing it well.
memorably. Yeah.
Okay, let's go with doing it well.
Does Akira count? Because I'm pretty sure there was an apocalypse before the actual main story.
Yeah, I mean, that I wouldn't count Akira. And its apocalypse is mostly very localized on top of it.
And that's what I'm saying, is like they never are really clear. It's the future, yeah, it's cyberpunk, but they're never really clear. Did the world end before that? Is this just the future? Like, where is the society in this setting?
And then there's one more thing. Actually, I can think of an anime that's post-apocalyptic. They show you the apocalypse happening. Amazing Cause, and this is an 80s anime. It was a one-shot, just a movie. The anime is called A Wind Named Amnesia.
Okay.
Basic premise is that every human on Earth suddenly loses their memories. Most of them go feral.
That's an easy out. That's an easy out.
There are exceptions. There's like, we follow a protagonist who does go feral, but he eventually finds one of the few computer-aided humanoids that still retain their memory and is like, I'm going to teach you everything, including how to speak. But the world and what would happen to it, while it was an 80s anime, it did a decent job of world building, or one could say world deconstructing from that.
Have either of you seen the movie Millennium?
I have not.
Just because it sounds familiar, I'm not going to say that I've seen it.
Okay, so Millennium's an interesting one because it technically takes place in the then present of, I believe it's 1987, but the actual story, the plot points, happen in the year, I think it's actually supposed to be 2000, which is why they went with Millennium, wherein the nukes have dropped, Earth is shit, everything is polluted, and in fact, when they've perfected time travel, and they try to prevent certain disasters, they'll go back in time, interfere, take people to the future, and then let the disaster happen, but with corpses from the future, so that they can save those people. But the thing is, when they time travel, they can't survive in the atmosphere of the 80s because it's too clean. So they have to continuously chain smoke in order to keep up the toxicity in their lungs so they can breathe. I was like, that's actually a really fucking creative hook. Like, yeah, this is the future. An apocalypse has happened. People survived. But now the world is so trashed that we cannot survive on a clean Earth.
That rabbit hole of time travel, I'm so pretty. Time travel movies is so deep. And, of course, everybody's going to have their opinion and, their version of this. Well, that's their opinion, but, that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. Is PA time travel, because then does it really become post-apocalyptic if they're traveling to the past? Where the world was, Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Like, if we're in the past and the brunt of the story takes place in the past, does it count as post-apocalypse? Because just because we know there's going to be one, and there's a setting past it, we're still focusing on the before times. It's really interesting.
And, that's just like, it is very interesting. sometimes I'm just like, time travel. I don't have the brain for that right now. And then I turn on Bugs Bunny. Because that's my level of braining for the day.
I didn't think of this one, but there's a unique genre of post-apocalypse that only exists in one movie that I can think of. Musical surgery apocalypse.
What?
Repo the
Brain.
Genetic Opera.
You have some explaining to do. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Repo.
I've never actually seen the film.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Let me
Okay.
ask you this. Do you like Anthony Stewart Head?
I haven't seen enough of his work. I mean, I saw that bit he did with a version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
He did play Frankenfurter.
I'm
in
the only one
several
who's seen
live
him do that, aren't I?
No. I have his recording of Sweet Transvestites, one of my favorites.
Okay.
Yes. He did that in several shows. So, you got Anthony Stewart Head. Do you like Bill Moseley? Are you a horror fan?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not super familiar with his work. I mean, I know who he is.
Okay. Do you like Paul Sorvino?
Now
Yes.
I know I've seen Paul Sorvino. I'm trying to remember who he is.
He was in Goodfellas. He was one of the mobsters. He wasn't in The Godfather. He does play Italian gangsters a lot. Well, he doesn't play them anymore. He's dead. Let's see. Who was it? Your DJ roots. Are you a fan of Skinny Puppy?
Oh yes.
So you like Ogre?
Me, not so much.
Seen Ogre do a spoken word tour.
Are you a
In
fan
person.
of Paris Hilton getting shit on?
Oh, jeez.
Not like
I'm not-
literally.
Metaphorically or
Metaphorically, people making fun of her.
Kind of neutral myself.
Would you like to see?
I mean,
The
it's an
lead
easy
singer
pick,
of
but
Skinny
I'm
Puppy.
Not really...
Would you like to see the lead singer of Skinny Puppy tear off a woman's face, wear it as his own, and then immediately start calling Paris Hilton a whore?
First, real quick, Nightkind, what were you saying?
Oh, just to, that there's so many people that do cap honor that, no, I'm not a fan, and I'm, if they want to cap honor, just don't even want to deal with it. I don't even want to. So, yeah, I'm out on that part.
And I generally don't care about Paris Hilton, so.
Yeah, which leads us to would you like to see the lead singer of Skinny Puppy wear a woman's face?
And for the horror aspect, I'm a huge horror fan. So, hey, if that's your kink, there better be blood and shit involved in it. Yes, I would see that. I would
Okay,
want to
so-
see that.
This is a movie that I want to do a full-on review on. Like, I've been planning to do a video for years, but it's a Lionsgate movie, which are notoriously pulled off of YouTube. So, let me give you the rundown. In fact, I have my scripts folder right here. So, let me open it to
Convenient.
Repo. Where is my description? Here it is. Have you ever wondered what would happen if the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Saw got drunk and had a love child?
Cut out for me. What did you say?
Said, have you ever wondered what would happen if Rocky Horror and Saw got drunk and had a love child?
Huh.
It is.
It's a good one.
It's
I might have to-
gory. It is literally directed by a director of Saw. In fact, they were making Saw 4 when they were making Repo. And because Repo is incredibly low budget, it had a budget of, I think, $1.2 million. He actually started stealing sets from Saw to use in Repo. Paris Hilton plays, to no one's surprise, a drug-addicted, skanky, whorish, surgery-addicted heiress of a multi-million-dollar company. She plays it very well because she is completely self-aware of what she's playing.
Right.
Her brothers are...
No, I'm just thinking that I really need to see this again. It's been a few years.
Yeah, I have
So
the DVD.
now I really want to see it again.
I have the DVD. We can actually subject Rascalin to it whenever we
Watch
want.
party.
Yeah, I can just put it on Discord. Her brothers are the lead singer of Skinny Puppy and Bill Moseley. The Ogre plays Pavi Largo. Pavi is a ladies' man. He has a very high voice. He's very effeminate. He likes wearing silk suits and his hair up in a stereotypical Italian bob. He likes to pretend he is the ultimate wooer of women. And when he does, he then sleeps with them, cuts off their faces, and wears it as a trophy. Meanwhile, Bill Paxton plays...
Are they putting enough lotion on their face?
Bill Moseley plays Luigi, who has extreme anger problems, has a giant scar across his chest that he loves to show off when he's angry, and if you don't make it, this is a literal scene, if you don't make his coffee correctly, he will stab you in the gut 13 times. Their father is Paul Sorvino.
14, because that's too much.
Yes. Their father is Paul Sorvino, who is very disappointed in all of his children, and is the head of the now world-controlling organ replacement company called GeneCo. See, their world had an apocalypse where there was a sudden pandemic, never explained what it was, sudden pandemic with a massive organ failures. GeneCo happens to be 3D printing or harvesting or producing organs somehow, and puts them on layaway. You can rent your goddamn organs. Problem with that being, if you fall behind in your payments, they legally can send a repo man after you to repossess the organs.
Yes.
Which is where Anthony Stewart Head comes in. He plays the best repo man. And by the best, we mean he originally had nothing to do with it, hated everything to do with it, fought for life, had a wife, had his daughter, perfect marriage, everything, except his wife was originally the lover of Roddy until she met Nathan. Roddy got jealous, snuck poison into Nathan's lab because Marnie, his wife, has a blood disease. Nathan accidentally put the poison in, killed his wife, and then forever carried the guilt. Roddy uses it to make him his assassin. Shit when it goes down, and he decides, alright, well, I don't want to leave my daughter, so I'm gonna poison her too.
So you said it's been a long time since you've seen this movie?
Oh no, I have this memory, I have this movie memorized, beat by beat for everything. I can pretty much sing it word for word by heart.
I can tell. Not that it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong.
I
It's
love
not a
this movie.
bad thing. Because
With
there's
the
movies
things
that
I've
I can
found
do
out-
that as well.
Yeah, with the things I found out about Terrence, don't like Terrence anymore. Still love the movie. But yeah, and then for extra what the fuck, Sarah Brightman appears.
Where?
She is Nathan's wife's best friend and Nathan's daughter's godmother, and is also the slave of GeneCo, because she is their star performer and is under contract because she was born blind but given cybernetic eyes, and if she ever refuses to perform or leaves her employment in GeneCo, she will immediately forfeit her eyes and be murdered.
Of course, she has to have some kind of performance in there because she's an opera singer. Of course.
Her story arc is possibly the best in the entire movie. Although I am still trying to figure out how you manage to make eyeballs that can record literally everything, including audio, and then play it back with high definition holographic projection without getting hot enough to burn out of your fucking skull.
Okay, don't overthink it. Just let it be. Just flow with it. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. Don't start asking too much questions.
It also has the best cut subplot I've ever seen, which is in the theatrical cut and the DVD cut that I have. Nathan sings a lot in his house, and at one point they show you what appears to be a very detailed portrait of Marnie, which is weird because every other picture in this hallway is holographic. But then the cut subplot reveals that's not a picture, that's his wife's corpse. He keeps it in the house.
Dorian Gray.
I was like, that's devotion to your wife. It's like, I love you so much that you've been dead for 17 years. I am keeping your ass in a little room behind a window so I can see your rotting corpse every day.
Yes, weird.
Yeah.
Okay, well, gentlemen, I have a client coming to pick up their beast, so I am going to bow out. Thank you for including me again.
How long have we been running?
Uh,
Oh, we've been running for about
hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can call it here.
Okay.
Man.
I mean, if you guys want to continue, obviously, because this is not my show, I just wanted to let you know that, because I can talk PA for hours and hours. But I do have to get their dog ready, gathering
Yeah.
shit and stuff like that.
Maybe
So,
next week.
um,
If we don't hear from Olav, we will definitely make post-apocalyptic next week. You can just ramble and run the show.
Rascalin, catch up on your PA.
Oh boy.
All right.
You have
You
a
have a
week
good
to do
night.
this.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen,
Good night, everyone.
again, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and hopefully, if you allow me to come back next week, I'll be here.
You're always welcome. You're
The
a
work-
staple of the show now.
I don't make that assumption. No, but thank you. I appreciate it. And so on that note, I will see you next week.
All right. Have a great night.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
I will just do my plug.
Do your plug.
Tomorrow night, community radio for East Central Illinois, Over the Edge on 90.1 FM, WEFT Champaign. Streaming online at new.weft.org/listen.
And yes, thank you everyone who came in and joined us. Thank you for the interaction in chat. I hope you enjoyed our little insanity this week. And once again, we apologize for any mishaps, hiccups, and general what the fuckery. Unfortunately, this week I forgot to put the link to the Discord, Patreon, and such in the description below. But don't worry, they're still there. I can go and edit it in later. You can go to another stream and find it. We will always welcome new people to the community. So we will see you next week, hopefully. Maybe we will hear from Olav. Maybe gamers will surprise us and we'll drop in. If not, we'll be back here and we will let Nightkind take it and do post-apocalyptic. But until then, we wish you all the best and have a great night.